Every year in Sun Valley, Idaho, the world's most elite media and tech leaders gather for a week of meetings behind closed doors for the Allen & Co. conference. Many of the richest people in the world descend on this tiny town for the week. And naturally, news outlets make the trek to try and get a peek at the action as moguls arrive, even though reporters aren't officially invited to the conference. Sounds cool, right? The only problem is that it involves a lot of waiting for attendees to arrive, especially on day one. Come by later, Jeffrey. Stuart, you got a second? Come on over. Hey, Brian, you got a second?
He'll answer. He knows.
Most executives either entirely ignore or wave off questions as they arrive.
One simple statement: life is great.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
But the conference is a rare chance to see them showing off their taste in fashion. Now, this thing is mainly a media conference, so the big focus this year is on the fate of Rupert Murdoch's 21st Century Fox. Rupert, hi.
Hi, Rupert.
You got a second? Cheddar caught up with Discovery CEO David Zaslav, who shared his thoughts on how tech companies like Apple and Amazon are putting pressure on legacy players in the media space.
Rupert's selling a very compelling scripted TV and scripted movie business. And I get that. You have two companies on top with Amazon and Netflix that are trading at very different kind of values. Netflix can say that they're going from $8 billion to $10 billion or $12 billion, and it doesn't affect what the valuation. In fact, the value may go up. Rupert can't add $2 billion or $3 billion to what he's going to spend on scripted or on movies. And so there is a disequilibrium in terms of the way companies like Amazon and Apple and Netflix are valued. And it puts at a very significant disadvantage, I think, or at least a disadvantage, companies that have to compete with that are valued at 7, 8, 9, 10 multiples and are valued on cash flow or EBITDA. So I think they have a unique advantage right now. Eventually, all companies will be valued the same, but right now there's an advantage.
We also asked him about Apple's upcoming foray into creating TV shows for its own platforms, which he admitted the iPhone maker was behind on developing.
It's one of the great companies in the world. They understand brand. Eddie really understands the media business. They've been successful with music, and we'll see. I wouldn't bet against them, but they got some catching up to do in the scripted area, and they probably will. But we're glad we're not playing in that space.
Sam Altman of Silicon Valley's Y Combinator was there preaching the importance of artificial intelligence, which he said Google was the clear leader in developing.
I mean, I think you got to respect what Google's doing. I think they are the clear leader of the big tech companies, but I expect that every tech hypercap company will make AI their number one priority in the next decade or whatever.
And for former AOL CEO Steve Case, what's happening in the media space right now signals a seismic shift in consumer behavior that's been a long time coming.
I think it's an interesting time in terms of the evolution of technology. Obviously, we announced the AOL Time Warner merger almost 20 years ago, 19 years ago, and some of the things we were talking about then are now happening in terms of streaming and other kinds of things. So I'm not surprised that there's another round of kind of big mergers where companies are trying to position themselves for a future where consumers are going to have more choice and more control and more convenience, and it's going to move from the more traditional kind of distribution models, cable, and to a much more digital model. It was clear that it was going to happen. It's just taken longer than most of us would have thought.
With all these media leaders gathered under one roof for the week, the future of the industry could be determined by conversations that take place here in Sun Valley.